What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 241 of the allegedly award-nominated, still, I think, number 9 ranked. Need an update on the rankings, Shrek. Need an update on the rankings. And, of course, viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. It's KB and Deej, and Deej got a brand new camera.
Sure.
You're like Chip Skylark right now.
I am.
My shiny screen and me.
I do have a Chip Skylark smile on me.
My shiny teeth that sparkle.
People can really see it now, too.
Just like the stars in space. Ah! What a banger, man.
Not better than SpongeBob, though.
This might be some... We do have a Colin Squires top 5, but I think next week, being that it's still kind of the off-season, the minimal off-season that we do get in lacrosse, we might have to do a top 5 Nickelodeon theme songs or songs in general.
Yeah.
In honor, it'll be a little bit later, but in honor of the late great Coolio, rest in peace, because that Keenan and Kel theme song, you just don't know. Wow. Shout out to all that, the kids SNL, the real ones know. It's a weird week. There's not a lot going on. Obviously, the PLL offices are closed this week, so nothing really coming out of the PLL news or controversy or goodness-wise. But we do have NLL signings galore to catch up on. New ones that have just happened this week. The boy got the bag. Shout out to Blaze. We'll dive into that. The Vancouver Warriors have a mascot search going on. I allegedly stumbled upon the season summary analytics for the PLL. And we have a top 5, Colin Squires top 5. So we'll dive into that towards the end of the show for the real ones. So stick around for the CS39 top 5. But before we get started, I want you guys to look at my badass fucking Water Dogs Championship shirt if you're watching on YouTube.
Mine is coming in the mail.
The dogs. This is one of the coolest shirts of all time. It's one of my favorite shirts I own.
It's so nice. So nice.
Like, so dope. Like, I'm almost intrigued, like, itching to buy another one to tie-dye that one. Because this would look sick in a black and gray and white tie-dye. It's badass. Super stoked. It's one of the best PLL shirts, I think. Hands down. Shout out to the dogs. Woof.
Woof.
They're gonna love that for the headphone users. Make sure you guys are following us at OTB Laxpod, Twitter and Instagram. Follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever the hell you get your podcasts. If you're not using one of those two, I don't know what you're doing. Those are like the two. And both of those allow you to leave 5-star ratings and reviews, which really helps this show continue to go to the moon. You guys supported us all PLL season long. Still need your support. Subscribe to the podcast feed and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. In the ratings and reviews, you can literally leave any recommendations about the show. Let us know guests you want us to try to book, topics, anything. Let us know in the podcast reviews on Apple Podcasts. And, of course, you can do the same thing on YouTube in the comment section and subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You get full video episodes of OTB every single Friday. And we're on that hashtag road to 1K. DJ and I are still conjuring up our thought of our leg of the 1K gauntlet here at Underground Sports. But once we hit 1K, something big will be going down. So make sure you subscribe, You tell a friend to subscribe. You tell your mom, your dad, your sister, your grandma, your cousin, your aunts and uncles to subscribe because it's free to subscribe. And then you smash that like button, ring the bell icon so you don't miss any episodes in video form. And, of course, comment down below to get the comment section flowing. Shout out to the sponsors. Deej, do we have an update? Shout out to our sponsors, Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. Do we have an update on the missing package?
We do. I won't say too much. There was some miscommunication on both sides, and I am only getting the 4-item warehouse box instead of the 7 and 9-item warehouse box. But nonetheless, getting a warehouse box. It will be coming. I did see the email. It came earlier today, but I saw it just a few hours ago. So I sent an email back. They'll probably see it tomorrow. I did ask them to change the delivery address to your home. So hoping that it gets there a lot quicker, as you said you've mentioned in the past. So should be seeing that sometime soon. And I'll explain the further miscommunication off pod.
But hey, we got to figure it out. So shout out to Tomahawk Shades. See, that's customer service, baby. Make sure you guys go to tomahawkshades.com, get your blue light plus glasses, your sunglasses, everything in between. Use code USP for 25% off your order at tomahawkshades.com. Kenwood Beer, the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I have meetings with both of these two sponsors that I just talked about coming up in the next couple of weeks, so that's exciting. Kenwood Beer. Use that all new and improved. They're slowly but surely making their way to South Jersey. The new and improved Kenny Tracker. See who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. And the boys over at Binho, leading up to the World Cup, guys, they're dropping World Cup-inspired team boards every single week. A new one drops every Friday at noon Eastern time. So go check out their Instagram because that's typically where they drop the videos to announce it, and go to binhoboard.com. You check out all the accessories, the boards, the apparel, merch, all that good stuff, and use code BINHOUSP, BINHOUSP for 10% off your order at binhoboard.com. Deej, we got NLL signings. I had to look at that 3 times to make sure I spelled signings correctly. That's the type of week it has been. We got a lot to catch up on in terms of signings across the board. Trying to see where we should even start. Let's see. Well, I see the San Diego Seals just continue to sign all name team guys too. Reed Rozanka.
Wow.
That's just elite talent right there.
Railroad, baby.
The New York Riptide signed Brian Rice to a 3-year deal, and your boy Mason Kuminga to a 2-year deal.
Did you just add a D to the end of Brian's name? I swear it sounded like you said Brian Rice.
No, Brian Rice.
I said, did he just add a D to the end of his name?
That's my signature dish to beat Bobby Flay.
I'm going to come out and make you some brined rice.
My signature dish is brined rice. The lacrosse player?
Yeah, that's him.
That would be one of those obnoxious lacrosse people. Beat Bobby Flay, Brian Rice right now. Did you know he played lacrosse?
Brian Rice is the only person to play lacrosse and beat Bobby Flay.
Oh man, that's incredible. Panther City also coming through with an all-name team. Carter Zavitz, elite name there. Looking here, Georgia signed Max Wayne. Zach Getty signed with Colorado on a 2-year deal. Big time pickup there for the boys. Nate Wade is back in Calgary. The boy, the homie, Joe Nardella signed a 2-year deal with Albany, so he's back with the Firewolves. Tate Catoni also signed with the Firewolves. I forget if we talked about this or not, but Sean Evans signed with Vancouver. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid. Crazy. Unexpected. Friend of the program, I just truly don't know what Vancouver's doing. Their team building this offseason has been very strange. Don't really understand it. But that's why they play the games, Deej. That's why they play the games. We'll see what they're up to, but I just truly don't understand their mapping of their offseason at all. Saskatchewan traded Jordy Jones-Smith to the New York Riptide in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2023 draft. I like that deal for both teams. The Rochester Nighthawks signed everybody and their brother. A lot of their draft picks. Thomas McCunvey and Spencer Bell signed to their draft list. Chris Willman and Ryan Hartley signed 1-year deals with the Nighthawks. Austin Hayson and Lucas Coote signed 1-year deals with the Nighthawks. And then Carter Schott, Thomas Vella, and Parker Pfeiffer, say that 12 times fast, signed 2-year agreements with Rochester. Halifax signed Aaron Sky to a 1-year deal. What a fucking incredible name for a lacrosse player. Nick Finlay, shout out, former wing, signs a 3-year deal with the Colorado Mammoth. Vaughn Harris, former wing as well, signed with Rochester. Panther City signed Kevin Orleman to a 1-year deal. John Lintz is back with Colorado on a 1-year deal. Seth Van Scheppen signed a 2-year deal with Calgary. The Albany, this is an interesting. The Firewolves released Jordan Durston from their active roster. That's kind of surprising. He's a very good player. Somebody should pick him up, which I haven't really scrolled to see if anybody did. But, looking here. Oh, Las Vegas all-name team winner right here. Stryker Roloff, spelled Stryker. I want to shake his hand.
That's like a famous company here that does. Honestly, 9 times out of 10, the hospital bed that any one of you is listening to this, and you that is recording this, has laid on is probably made by Stryker, and that's a Kalamazoo company. They invest in the Kalamazoo Promise and paid for my college tuition. So yes, definitely an all-name team.
Stryker Roloff. What a fucking name. The boy TD signed a 3-year deal with Toronto. So he's locked up pretty much long-term in the grand scheme of the NLL. Big-time trade happened last week, too, while we were, recapping the PLL championship game. The Albany Firewolves traded Tony Malcolm and their third-round pick in the 2024 entry draft to Panther City in exchange for one Jackson Reed and Panther City's first-round selection in the 2026 entry draft. Very interesting trade there. Don't know how I feel about that in terms of vibes and locker room camaraderie with trading Tony Malcolm. Big team guy leaving. It's kind of a bummer.
But with the offense they're building, I like the way Jackson Reed fits into it. And, from what I'm picking up from the NLL, yes, obviously team matters with every team sport and locker room stuff, but, you really have to have 4 very good groups. You need to have 3 very good groups, not necessarily 4. You need to have a very good offense that plays just good offense, very good defense that plays good defense, a good transition group, and a good goalie. That's how you win. So, they may be giving up a little bit of that chemistry and locker room fun and tightness to have a better product, out on the field, which
I'm ready to add more nicknames to Albany's team. They are now the Albany Water Whip Dog Snake Wolves Fire Water Lacrosse Club, because now they have Jackson Reed, Brad Smith, and Joe Nardella on the squad, plus all the Water Dogs, plus they play in Albany. So they are the Albany Water Whip Dog Snake Wolves Fire and Water.
I'm not saying all that.
Unreal.
Go Albany.
The last big free agent did sign this past week. The homie Stephen Keogh leaving Halifax and going to Toronto on a 1-year deal. Vancouver placed Owen Grant and Hunter Vines on their draft list. Brett Dobson signed a 2-year deal with Georgia. Goalie of the future? Question mark. Is he the next Dylan Ward that will play both NLL and PLL?
So glad you didn't say it.
Didn't say what?
I thought you were going to call him that one name I really don't like hearing. The guy he's replacing.
Oh. I was like, when was it announced that he's replacing Gitz? That's immediately where my brain went.
No, definitely talking about him replacing.
Shut up, Mike Poulin. But I mean, is Brett Dobson? Here's some lacrosse discourse for is he the next Dylan Ward? Both Canadian, both big body, tall goalies that allegedly now both playing the NLL level, both playing PLL. I could see it. Not saying he's going to be like Dylan Ward, but like could have that dual success.
Okay, I'm glad you skipped.
Like nobody's going to be Dylan Ward. Dylan Ward's a fucking unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer.
He's
like
a winner.
Yeah.
That's it. Dobson's good, but he ain't winning like Dylan is.
At least yet, he's still young. We'll see what he does. I think he's very good. Like I think he's gonna have a long, like, successful career at both levels.
Oh, definitely. But I just think like Dylan Ward is the winningest goalie we'll see like ever.
Totally.
In terms of levels, and he's literally only missing one level. And honestly, he could go back and get it as a coach someday. And then he's not missing any level.
He should do that.
I guess he's missing 2 because Press Cup as well. So he wins Press Cup. He wins. He goes back and coaches and wins the NCAA title. Like he should
just go. He should just go on like a wagon of a team in D1 and just jump on as a special assistant. Like not coach. Even like full commitment, just special assistant to like pull the Ryder Garnsey, like grad assistant. Dylan Ward goes back to college.
Oh my god. He might as well just pull the TD.
Oh,
TD man. Is like an assistant on the Syracuse roster, but is like never there.
What school should Dylan Ward go and coach at?
Definitely can't go back to his alma mater if he wants a chance.
Oh no, I'm saying what wagon school would it be cool for Dylan Ward to go to?
Honestly, Notre Dame. They always have like I know, but they always have the tall, skinny, like lanky goalies that like play like him. I literally just glitched out and said lanky like 4 times.
This episode is brought to you by the word lanky.
I'm just trying to think of like other teams with like goalies who kind of have his build and like play style. And like Notre Dame's really the only one that comes to
It'd be hilarious if he just went to Maryland.
Yeah.
Because then Bernhardt.
I guess for Virginia wouldn't be a bad option either.
I was thinking that too.
Because, I mean, Alex Rode, he ain't bad.
Did you just, like, life glitch?
Yes.
You just look like the episode of Hey Arnold when they go hiking and Helga's dad throws the refrigerator over the fucking cliff because he smells it. He's like, "Hoofa!"
I'm just saying, the right man knows what that was for.
I'm trying to think. I would hate if he went to Duke.
Yes. North Carolina just doesn't seem like the fit. I mean, Denver could obviously work.
Oh, duh. We're fucking stupid. Yeah, go to Denver. That's where he lives.
Yeah, Denver could obviously
Duh.
work.
Duh.
It would kind of seem.
Everyone up until then is probably like, you fucking idiots. He's
Yes.
gonna go to Denver if he does it. You morons.
Yeah, literally. It's right there. I mean, it would be cool to see him come to the East Coast and pick one of those schools. Though. Like, granted,
We're so
we,
fucking
we
stupid.
know it's going to be Denver, but imagine he packs it up and goes to Utah.
Everyone is screaming right now. You fucking morons.
That just knocked us to honorable mention on the podcast.
Speaking of Dylan Ward, the Colorado Mammoth also signed Tyler Carlson and Jake Higgins to a 1-year deal. How long until Jake Higgins gets traded to Albany? The world may never know. The Rochester Nighthawks are trying to make it work. Alex Woodall signs a 2-year deal with Rochester. We'll see if this time is the charm for Alex Woodall in the NLL. Looking here. We also have somebody that is joining Ryan Tarafanko in all-name hockey team name coming to the NLL. The Buffalo Bandits have signed Nathaniel, apologize if I butcher this, Kozovnikov.
Oh, I thought you was going to say McKinnon, and I was going to call out.
Kozevnikov. If that man never picked up a hockey...
Spell that again?
Kozevnikov. Kaveznikov.
I would have to look at it.
Kazevnikov. That's what it is.
Yeah, I have to look at it.
Yeah. If he never picked up a hockey stick, there's something wrong. He signs a 2-year deal and got placed on the active roster from the injured reserve season-ending list. 2-year deal with Buffalo. John Piatelli signed a 1-year deal with Albany, so now they're also pulling from the Cannons. The Albany Water, Whip, Boom Squad, Nooner, Dog Snake,
Boston.
Wolf. And, of course, the big signing, pending league approval, Blaze Reardon signs a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Wings. Just stoked that the boys sticking around. Wings are gonna be good, man. Like they're gonna be a team to be reckoned with this year. They're on a mission. I think they are going to do a lot of big things this year, and obviously their schedule's a little wild, but I think on paper they have the talent to really be like an elite tier team in the entire league.
I mean, I like what they put together. I mean, obviously, it sucks to see some of the pieces they lost this summer as well. But, looking at the way the business works, the way the game works, like they have been in for, 3 years now in the league as a new rendition? Or this will be the 3rd year?
This will be year 4.
Okay, so yeah, they've been in for 3 years. That's what I thought. And, I mean, they've had some success, but it just hasn't worked.
To be honest, this past season was their first year of success. Year 1 back, they won 4 games. Then you had 6 wins, and then COVID happens. And then last year, you make the playoffs as a wild card team.
Right.
Last year was the first scratching the surface taste of success of this iteration of the Wings.
Right. That's some success, but not enough. Definition of insanity starts to kick in, and the front office is like, all right, we have to do something. I think they went a little drastic in with, what they let happen. But once again, I don't run things, but it does for the damage that was done, I think they did well in replacing it and fitting the roster around what they have to be more than competitive. Because there's teams that are building rosters to be competitive, and there are teams that are building rosters to win, and the Wings are definitely a team building a roster to win.
Yeah, and from what I've heard through the grapevine too, obviously when the rumor was swirling, like Kevin Crowley got an offer from San Diego that he just could not turn down. And from what I've been told, just, hearing things through the grapevine, like the Wings never really, as soon as they found out Russ Terrence was like all in on coming to Philly, they were never going to match the offer that San Diego dished out to Kevin. So it was like pretty much Kevin leaving was a foregone conclusion. And I mean, when you can get a guy who was an MVP candidate last year too, there's no slight at Kevin because he's a homie for life, but I think Russ Terrence is going to do fantastic things. And when your 1-2 punch on your offense is Ben McIntosh and Joe Russ Terrence, and then you throw in Matt Rambo, Blaze Reardon, Corey Vitarelli, Kyle Matisse is back. I think that was huge too, to bring back your team captain. Like the offense has the pieces to get things done, and you got a lot of young guys too, which is huge for any league of lacrosse to infuse your team with youth. Matt Rambo, Trevor Baptiste, and Blaze were that youth when the Wings came back. Now they're kind of in that hitting their prime portion of their career. You got to bring in some other young guys, so I'm excited to see the infusion of some youth on this Wings team as well. It also just feels like Las Vegas is making moves left and right every single week. It feels like Panther City's starting to make some more moves. Like, we got a couple more weeks until training camp, and then it's going to start to get kind of frisky. But those are the NLL signings that we've caught up on now. And the other big thing, too, is all the leaders of every lacrosse league in the land all met up for a meeting of the minds for the World Games. I mean, that's fucking huge, first of all. It's the first time they've all been in the same room to talk about the sport. And hopefully, when everything was over from that aspect, Brett Frude and Mike and Paul Rabel sat down and worked on some things to figure this whole NLL, PLL situation out. But very, very cool to see, like, it was almost like the United Nations of lacrosse just coming together and being like, hey, let's do this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. And we talked about it a little bit off pod. I was like, this is exactly like what this sport needs. Like, even if they didn't talk about anything else, and just getting that introduction, that familiarity with each other, and getting on the same basis of where they want the sport to grow. Because, like, even if some opinions weren't brought up, some things that were said by other people challenged people's opinions. They thought about them. Like, these kind of meetings are what divulge and get rid of the odd end opinions that stop the flow of the game and stop the game from growing. It brings everybody onto a like-minded state, and eventually, as they continue to come together for these kind of meetings, they will subsequently be like, okay, my NLL season can't run into the PLL. I need to do this for the PLL to help out the NLL, and the World Games needs to do this to help out both the NLL and the PLL. Like, they're going to find ways that they can do things themselves to help out each other and vice versa. It's honestly just the smallest building block in what will be a masterpiece of an artwork.
Yeah, so we'll see how all that shakes out, next summer and everything with the World Games. It's going to be exciting. Maybe we'll get invited to go out. That'd be kind of fucking cool, just saying. But speaking of building, and I do want to preface this, obviously, DJ and I both do not condone some of the happenings with this franchise this offseason. Are we going to talk about something that might be a distraction for the fan base and everything to turn their eyes away from it? Yes. Do we acknowledge that it might be that? Yes. Do we acknowledge that it might not be that? Yes. But what Vancouver did this offseason to sign somebody with the background and the history that they have is very foolish and very close-minded. And we do not condone any of that behavior. That is a guy that will never be on this podcast. But we just wanted to preface that before we dive into this topic, because, like we said, it's a slower week in the sport of lacrosse. But the Vancouver Warriors have a mascot vote going on right now, and I mean, I'll say the artwork looks fucking cool. All four of them are cool.
Might be asking that person to do some artwork for me.
Yeah,
I'm
what's up?
Also in a mascot vote.
What's up with it? We're also looking for somebody to draw us a duck. So they are looking for a new mascot. There's 4 options. I don't know which one I'm leaning more towards, but they do have descriptions for all of them. And I will read them off here. Number 1, the Turf Monster. Here, I'll read the press release type thing here. Over the past few weeks, the Vancouver Warriors received original mascot drawings and stories from talented fans. The team would like to thank all who contributed their unique mascot ideas. Now the Vancouver Warriors invite the community to select the winner out of the Final 4. Which of the following mascots embody what it means to be a Vancouver Warrior? Now, I will preface this. None of these mascots are Warriors. So I don't know exactly how that embodies being a Vancouver Warrior, but it might just be a state of mind rather than being an actual Warrior.
I mean, Stinger exists, so.
Valid. Number 1, the Turf Monster. The description here: a green creature made up of the tough turf in Rogers Arena. It is extremely territorial of its domain and known to trip unsuspecting players. Occasionally, it will come out from hiding to join the festivities at Warriors games. This drawing looks sick. The artwork looks super cool. It looks like a rejected Muppet. I'm a big fan. He's rocking shorts. He looks very cool. Big fan of the Turf Monster art concept.
I like the art concept. I do not like the Turf Monster, as in the real Turf Monster. He's got me more than one time. He actually gave me turf toe. Turf toe hurts. Like, that might actually be like the most painful lower extremity injury you can have. Like, it's so inconvenient, and like you don't realize how much pressure you put on your toe until you can't put any on your toe. It was awful. It was worse than banging my toe on the edge of the bed. I'd rather do that 10 times in a row than to have turf toe.
Ugh. Yeah, I have seen those chiropractor videos though, them fixing turf toe. Veins. Mascot option number 2 is the Eagle. Go Birds. A tenacious bird that utilizes its sharp vision, lethal talons, and ability to savagely chirp all opposing NLL teams. The Eagle brings concentration and speed, 2 necessary aspects of lacrosse. Cool concept. Not sure how I feel about it having the headband and the sunglasses if you're looking for vision, sharp vision, unless it's Tomahawk shades on that thing. Shout out, code USP for 25% off. The eagle, like the actual eagle itself is cool. It just looks too bro-y to me. So that's the eagle there. The next one is the black bear, a mammal that is known for its opportunistic nature. It emerges out of hibernation just in time for the box lacrosse season to start. British Columbia is estimated to have some of the highest populations of black bears in the world. Very cool. The bear, though, it kind of looks like a grocery store brand cereal mascot. Like, not, and that's not a net. Like, it looks cool, but that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, yeah. That was like the first thing I thought of when I saw it. I was like, are they making cereal?
Like, it
I
looks
mean,
like
I would eat it. Like, if this is on the front of a cereal box, give me all of them.
that bear would be on the box of chocolate chip cookie crunch.
And I would bang every single box. Are you kidding me?
Instead of Cookie Crisp, it would be chocolate chip cookie crunch because it's generic brand.
Hey, the generic brand cereals are the best. Let me get them cinnamon toasters ASAP.
The final mascot option is I don't know what to make of this one. It's the Party Sasquatch, a hairy human-like cryptid that is believed to exist in the forest of western British Columbia. With frequent trips to Whistler, the Party Sasquatch decided to leave its mysterious history behind and join the fun at every Warriors game. He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt, shoes, rainbow sunglasses, another headband. I guess headbands are just a BC thing. I don't know. But the Party Sasquatch. And then you get to vote, and each person who submitted or votes on a mascot idea will be entered to win a pair of Warriors season tickets and $500 Rogers Arena food and drink gift card. The voting period will end on Monday, October 3rd. Following the results, the creation of the newest member of the Vancouver Warriors will begin. Y'all know me and DJ, we're big mascot people. We think Winston rules. We think Eddie rules. I'm blanking on his name, but the Halifax Thunderbirds mascot rules. Saskatchewan's Bulldog, pretty cool.
I don't mind bro up in Toronto.
See, I got a problem with him. Him and Stinger can go chill in the pen. Stinger's a
scares
problem.
me. He scares me, legit. I'm sure kids run away from Stinger. I'm positive.
Who you kidding? I would run away from Stinger.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't imagine being a little 5-year-old kid and running into Stinger in the hallway.
Imagine if they sell Stinger plushes at their stadium. That's terrifying.
I'm sure they do.
Terrifying to think about.
I'm gonna buy one and put it next to your bed.
You're just trying to end my life early, huh?
Early. You're on the way out the door.
Fair enough. That's the show, everybody. Be sure to subscribe. But I think ranking the mascots, I'd go, for me personally, Turf Monster 1, Black Bear 2, Party Sasquatch 3, Eagle 4.
I'm pretty much the same. I would flip 2 and 3.
So you go Party Sasquatch 2, Black Bear 3.
Like, I just think in terms of like what this mascot will service and the purpose of this mascot, the Turf Monster and Party Sasquatch provide more of that party vibe, more of that outgoing and vibey, interactive, which is like what their fan base does at games. Whereas like the Eagle and the Black Bear seem to be more of a personality toward the team, which is more of like the Warrior mascot, in my opinion. Like if they were changing that, Black Bear and Eagle would be more appropriate. But for like this service, Party Sasquatch and Turf Monster seem like better options.
I think the bear can kind of embody that too, especially just thinking of like an actual like mascot suit. Like I think the bear would work. I just don't see how, like, the Eagle's cool, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think it fits that team, and I don't think it fits like we already have Halifax kind of doing the Eagle adjacent mascot. I think the Turf Monster's just unique. It's different, so I like that a lot. He just looks fucking cool. He looks like if like Elmo, Oscar the Grouch, and Animal got like a splash of Bob Ross paint from Where the Wild Things Are. And that's what this turf monster. He's fucking cool.
He is. He's fantastic. I mean, I love the idea of the turf monster. Like, I think it really embodies the Warriors and like what it's like going to a Warriors game. Granted, I've never been to one, but from what I could view through the TV, it would be awesome to watch Mitch Jones score and run it, jump backwards into the glass, and there's the turf monster smacking the glass with 3 fans. Like, that's what I envisioned when I read the turf monster. But like, don't really see that with Black Bear. Although, talking about it now, that would be a cool picture. Mitch Jones with a black bear right next to him,
And like, I think the black bear's cool because it is like location wise they exist in BC, so like I think that's a cool like homage to like where they're from too. But yeah, let us know in the comment section on YouTube your favorite of the Warriors mascot options. Let us know what you vote for. All right, guys, it's KB from the Outside the Box podcast here live from Shootout for Soldiers Philly, and I got some of the guys right here with us, some exclusive interviews here. I'm going to let them state their names, where they're coming from, and we're going to have a fun little conversation here. So, guys, welcome to the show, first and foremost. Let everyone know, your names, the branch of the military you're in, and what year of Shootout for Soldiers this happens to be for you.
Tim, I'm from, I grew up in Long Island, New York, early station in the Air Force out in New Jersey. Joined the military about 7 years ago, and then I thought I'd play lacrosse again. So I did some kind of Shootout for Soldiers, something really pretty nostalgic for me. I'm glad to be back on the field with the guys sharing the same passion and all what's that.
My name is Patrick. I'm also in the Air Force. We're on the same unit in the continuous response. So, but I joined the Air Force 15 years ago. I was actually stationed at Andrews before this and did Shootout for Soldiers in Baltimore. Great experience there. So when I PCS to New Jersey, I'm also stationed at McGuire. I moved to New Jersey, found a couple of guys that played lacrosse, and kind of link those up. Shootout for Soldiers is great. You get to see the different generations, veterans coming out here. So we had like Vietnam, Desert Storm, and then our era, kind of veterans to come out. So it's great to see the cause. It's great fun to come out and play lacrosse. Love playing lacrosse. So cool.
My name's Lucas. I grew up in a small town called Mars right outside of Pittsburgh. This is my first Shootout for Soldiers. I've been in the military for coming up on 3 years now, so I'm still pretty new in it. It's just really cool to be able to play again. I didn't think this was going to happen.
How's it going? My name's Kevin. I'm from Northeast Ohio, a little town called Lake Milton. Tomorrow is actually my 13-year mark inside the Air Force. Like Patrick over here said, we're all from the same unit, so stationed out McGuire Air Force Base. As far as lacrosse and Shootout for Soldiers, I'm a new guy to all this. I've never played lacrosse in my life. Patrick kind of told me about the cause and what's going on out here, and I thought it was pretty cool. So he kind of talked me into it, and I'm here enjoying it.
You and I have something in common. I've never played lacrosse either, yet I host a lacrosse podcast that's mildly successful. To be out here, like you guys said, to have this atmosphere for, bringing that civilian military, link together like Shootout has done over the past, decade now. What's it been like to, kind of see it grow? Obviously, you've played in multiple now, to see kind of how it's evolved over the past couple of years now that you've been involved. What's that been like for you to just kind of see the sport of lacrosse and the military kind of come together as one?
It's been great, so I was at Andrews, and when I was there, I put out a feeler to the base, and I couldn't get anybody. I couldn't get a lot of people to come out. I get to McGuire, and the first year we played at McGuire, I had a full team. I was able to get like 12 guys to come out. So just seeing the transition, I know it's going to be regional, but just to see that the game has expanded even my time here, and I'll put out feelers across pages on Facebook and everything for the group. And I just got a lot of people that, hey, I put my kids in, so can my kids play on your team? Or I'll come out, but I haven't played before, stuff like that. So it's great to see it expand over time. And I know Philly this year with COVID, or coming back from COVID and everything, this one's on rebound. And I know 2018 when we were here, when we fielded the team last time I came out, the team was huge. Atmosphere was great. I know 2019 was the same. We ended up actually deploying, so missed 2019, but we had one of our guys in our unit take over and lead the team, and they had a great time, a lot of showing, raising a lot of money for the cause. And yeah, like you said, getting the civilian community interacting with the vets, it's been great. So I actually had a civilian guy play on my team in 2018. I was just putting out a feeler to a league we were playing in, and he came out and played for the team. So just to get that, civilian interaction with the military, kind of improve relations, and increase better that bond. So it's been great.
And then also, on top of it, you have some of the PLL coaches out here today as well, dedicating their time, during a bye week, during the All-Star break, to come out and support this as well. How awesome is that for you guys to see, the pro level of the sport coming out and supporting, this cause?
It's just cool that they're coming out to support us. This is an organization that's going to help us in the future, and I appreciate them showing support early on.
Yeah, especially during the bye week, taking the time out, their time, especially a crucial part of the season, coming out. So it's awesome. Really appreciate it. Everybody that's setting up Shoot Out for Soldiers, I know Chris and all the guys that helped set up. Great organization, great cause.
And for all of you guys, you all mentioned, like, you never thought you'd get back out on the field, lace up the cleats again. What is that feeling like when you walk back out on the field for the first time, to, get into game action, whether it's been, a week since you played or years? What is that feeling like, strapping it back up and getting out there with a stick in your hand?
The only words that come to mind are nostalgia. Like, I grew up started playing lacrosse back in when I was in kindergarten, middle school, through high school, played a little bit in college before I enlisted in the Air Force. And just something like that, all your friends go different ways. And, at times where I'm working or just sitting at home, I wish I could play lacrosse again. So I'm just thinking about it, because traveling out to Pennsylvania, even though it's a state away from where I live now, it reminds you of those good times when I was younger. Traveling out for travel lacrosse, playing with friends, playing on the summer under the lights, playing multiple games, sweating, working hard. But it's definitely good to be back.
Yeah, and also, honestly, like playing sports, lacrosse was my favorite sport growing up. But coming back, there's that camaraderie. You get it in the military, you get it on the field. So even when we're playing out here, a lot of these guys we've never met before. We come out here, and it honestly feels like, it's the same thing as a unit. We're out here, there's a lot of camaraderie. These guys are all having fun, and we're all talking and enjoying each other's company. So it's just great to come back out.
And for you guys, like, whether it was lacrosse that you played, growing up, or any sport, how many, similarities do you see from that team aspect to now in your military careers that kind of, blend and kind of get in that middle of the Venn diagram where you're remembering some things, back from, your team sport days that now kind of cross over to your military careers?
So I was the captain towards the end, but really either way, you encounter problems, team dynamics, stuff like that. So really just being on the teams, being on the field, being on the court, doing different sports, you just learn kind of how to lead teams, how to interact with people, how to improve your interpersonal skills. So it's just great. You come out and you just learn a lot. That's why I know sports are really important for kids growing up, because, you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about how to interact with people, how to I don't want to say how to lead, manage people, but you learn how to interact and get the best out of your teammates, improve people, give constructive criticism, receive constructive criticism, and be coached, and then coached. So there's just a lot of lessons to be learned. Lacrosse is a great one, because as the sport's growing fast, there's not a lot of people who know how to play. So you teach somebody who doesn't know how to play lacrosse, you're teaching them, they're going to learn a lot. They're going to learn a lot of lessons. There's going to be a lot of discipline, a lot of running, a lot of cardio. We're gassed from the veteran stand. So it's just a lot to learn.
Yeah, and like, obviously there hasn't been like the big name from the Air Force Academy yet at the pro level, but for you guys to see some of the military academies getting guys into the pro game, no matter what branch it is, how cool / surreal is it to kind of see the recognition of how hard they work with what they're trying to do for the military, but then also going and chasing that pro sport career. Obviously this year Brendan Nick turned Rookie of the Year candidate coming out of Army. How cool is it to kind of see some of these academy guys going to the pro level and being able to fulfill that dream of playing at the professional level of the sport?
I'll pass it to Muster after this, but I mean, we're possibly going pro soon, though. Maybe not. For
There you
the
go.
academy,
Here's
but
the audition.
going Pro, you know,
my debut, though.
warming up.
Chris Bates was out there watching,
Yeah, exactly.
so
Yeah. So
Pick me up.
we were looking. We were locking eyes. But yeah,
Three goals on the game. It's all
there
right.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure Grant Ament could work with that with the Archers.
It is cool though. You know, it's nice to see that the academies are getting some recognition, and these guys are able to play and get some action outside of there. The academy's got great athletes. Yeah, across all sports, lacrosse, football. You got some great athletes, so it's nice to get the talent showcased. And that's another branch for the military. To improve relations with the civilian community. One of your kid's favorite play played at the academy. So it's a nice branch. It's nice.
And then, you talked about how bouncing back and Philly obviously not having a shootout event since 2019. But I was talking to Eric, on Long Island a couple weeks ago for the PLL weekend there and tonight as well. I feel like even though it was a smaller event, I feel like Philly is the type of city that will explode once, people start to realize that it is back. What do you guys view the expectations for, in the future for Shootout for Soldiers Philadelphia and, kind of getting the word out there to people to let them know that, like, this is the one to be at?
I expect all the years to come to just keep on getting bigger and better. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, and it's always been a rivalry between East and West. And it was 2022 is actually the first time a West Coast team, not West Coast, Western Pennsylvania team got state championships. That was my school. Shout out to Mars Area High School.
There we go.
But I know there's a lot of good lacrosse out here. The entire playoffs is always held east of State College. It's never in our home turf. So even the commissioners know it's Eastern Pennsylvania that has a lot of lacrosse. So I think that's just going to carry through into this event as soon as the word gets out.
And I know, like I said, being here in 2018 and 2019, I know this event gets huge. They raised over $100,000 in 2018, I think, and 2019. So, like you said, just getting the word out again, getting this thing back out so people know it's happening again and it's reinvigorated. I think it'll be good to go. Give it another year or so, and I think Philly will be back crushing the goals of $100,000 again.
And I got to ask, because this is my first time being at this location. Were your jaws on the ground when you saw how big this place is?
Absolutely.
Beautiful campus.
I drove through a gate and was like, where am I?
Beautiful campus.
We were talking about it earlier. We're like, man, this would be a great place to retire. This is awesome.
Right.
Everything.
Feels like there's like a senior living community on the woods. Like you have a perfect setup here. And I was like, there's no way I should be driving up here in a Honda Civic right now.
I've never seen the school be the gated community.
Yeah.
It's super nice.
They brought the school in the gated community,
Yeah.
which is absolutely insane. I pulled up. I was like, what?
I was wow. So many fields too.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's
fields.
what blew me away. I was like,
We're
there's-
sitting in this box and we're looking at 3 fields right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's great.
I was like, every single team has their own field to
Yes.
practice on, which is
Yeah.
insane. But obviously, you guys being as close as you are, being all together with your military careers, what are some, stories together that you guys have been able to, kind of bond over, and then being able to go back out on the field together as well? What's that feeling like?
It's nice. So 3 of us deployed to Saudi together, to Prince Sultan Air Base. So we built that rapport. I know me and Ziegler had talked about playing lacrosse, like Kevin said, or me and Tim, sorry, and Kevin. We all, love talking about lacrosse, playing lacrosse. And it's been nice to come out here and kind of, you see people in a different light. We do PT and stuff like that at work where, every once in a while we'll do something fun. We're doing a lot of running and stuff, but to come out here and have, enjoy, like I said, the camaraderie, getting the camaraderie in a different environment, it's great. And then I know Musser, me, Kevin, and Lucas are all comm. So we have a communications field in the Air Force. So we all worked in the same shop. Great group of guys in that shop. I think we got the connection there, so it's great. It's nice to come out.
Do you guys have favorite PLL teams
Go.
and or players?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a brand new guy to this. I don't know a whole lot about it.
I was the same way about 4 years ago, and I fell in love with the sport like instantly. Never played growing up. Buddy of mine was like, "Hey, the Philadelphia Wings are coming back. We should start a lacrosse podcast." And I was like, "If you steer the ship, I will follow." And it ended up, our first episode was at the NLL League office with the former commissioner now, and it just took off. And you fall in love with the sport. It's one of those things where
I tell people it's the same like electricity and excitement as football, but you also have the skill and the finesse of like a basketball and a hockey together, and you combine it all into one, and it's probably the best sport on 2 feet right now.
So I'm from Charlotte. Like every spot I go, I try to pick up a team. So we didn't have a lacrosse team. We didn't have a baseball team when I was in Charlotte, so I picked up the Nats in DC. So I picked up the Wings when we got to Philly.
There we go.
I root for the Wings. Because growing up, we didn't have a team in Charlotte. PLL is pretty new to MLL. The Wings.
Nice.
I want to take my son to a game. I haven't been to a game yet, but I want to take my son to a game. So.
They are electric, and as head coach of the Philadelphia Wings, Paul Day would say, it's like a Philadelphia Eagles tailgate indoors. That is the vibe of a Wings game. This has been great, guys. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Appreciate you guys coming out and supporting Shootout for Soldiers. Any final thoughts? Anything to get out there to the people for 2023?
This was all really well put together. I had a blast. I just enjoy coming out here and somebody says, "Hey, do you want to play another game?" And they instantly take you in like family, and it's like a team. And it's just really cool to be back in this atmosphere after an extended time away.
And like a great cause, playing lacrosse for a great cause. Let's get Philly back out next year. Let's make next year the best year. Let's get it.
100%. Appreciate you guys. And I know you guys got another game coming up, so go kick some ass, take some names, and we'll see you out there on the field.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Switching over to the PLL, obviously the off season here, but allegedly I stumbled upon on Reddit. This comes from Reddit user. I can't even see it. It's just a graphic. But the 2022 season recap, which is just like all of the behind the scenes analytics that you kind of pick up on for the league. I'll start with viewership, Deej. Average broadcast viewership was at 157K, which is up 26% year over year. Most highly viewed game in outdoor pro lacrosse history was the championship game. 452,000 people watched on ABC, which was just a couple weeks ago on the 18th, Water Dogs and Chaos. That says a lot to me, too, because they were going toe-to-toe with the NFL. To draw that number, and I know it was lower than the championship game last year, so I don't know where that truly came from, because I think there was unless that was like the Nielsen rating, so I don't know how much that actually goes into like the viewer numbers, but to draw that number on an NFL Sunday is massive in my book. So 452K for the championship game. Ticket sales revenue was up 24% year over year. 4 weekend sellouts, which I'm pretty sure was Baltimore, Denver, Fairfield, and what was the other weekend that sold out?
Dallas? No.
Was it Albany? I forgot. I know those three that I rattled off were definitely sellouts. But that's huge. 4 weekend sellouts. Ticket revenue up almost 25%. The app and web, the total app downloads this year, 59,000. It was a top 10 sports app in the App Store. And this is wild. Their website page views, 25 million, which is up 150%.
Wow. That's insane.
Wild. And then social engagements, 16.7 million, 355 million impressions over social, and video views, 135 million, 119% up year over year. Crazy. Crazy numbers. It's the most successful PLL season of all time.
Exponential growth every year. And, like, mainstream is a big part of that. Like, I do like the approach the PLL took, though. They went extremely, like, social media based for the first couple of years. Like, everything was pushed pretty much over Instagram and Twitter. They did some TikTok stuff and a ton of YouTube. Like, and it was great for their target audience. Like, when it comes to sports, you don't really have to target adults. In all honesty, like,
Mm-hmm.
men and women that enjoy the sport are going to go,
Right.
guaranteed. Like, that's in the bag. Parents are going to go if their kids enjoy the sport because
Mm-hmm.
somebody has to watch their kids at the game. So, like, you don't have to account for parents. You have to hit, that 30 and under crowd. That's the one you want to hit. You have to get them interested. So going to Twitter and Instagram, you instantly hit like 18 to 30. And then going to YouTube and TikTok, you hit everybody under 18. And they went about that super hard, hit all of those spots right away with the most content, and it blew up. And now, they pushing mainstream TV to catch the average, sports fan, or catch, someone just flipping through, channel surfing. And now, it's definitely paying the benefits. We're seeing exponential growth, which only means money, which only means lacrosse will eventually become the household sport we want to see it be.
100%. So shout out to the PLL as always, which brings us to our first time in a long time, Colin Squire's top 5. It's our top 5 2022 PLL season moments, brought to you by our pals over at Pickup. Go to playpickup.com. You guys can start playing the hottest headlines in sports. The NFL is here. They're doing tons of NFL props. Partner with Elias Sports Bureau this season to bring you all the best in NFL action. Go to playpickup.com. Start playing those headlines. DJ, I will let you go first for your 2022 PLL season moments, your top 5. Start with your first pick.
Are we going 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
You can go 5 to. Let's do 5 to 1. I like that idea. Keep the people guessing.
5. Five for me would be opening weekend. I think just finally being able to go to Albany and lacrosse hotbed, a mecca, walk around campus a little bit, and take in those games at that field was awesome. Check it off the bucket list.
Yeah, Albany's great. I'm excited for first weekend in June to be back. Teacher number 4. I'll let you do your whole list because I'm sure we have some similars and I'm sure we have some difference.
I was not prepared to do this.
I can do my number 5.
Okay.
Number 5. And then for everybody at home, this is all encompassing. This can be a game moment, a weekend moment, a pod moment. Number 5 for me is pretty recent, but getting Blaze on the pod. That was a long time coming. Blaze has been incredibly supportive of the pod since I met him back in 2018, 2019. And finally getting him on the pod and him being the one to kind of initiate making it happen as well was pretty fucking special and pretty cool. So getting Blaze on our championship preview pod was number 5 for me.
Number 4 has got to be the Ryan Brown shout out that we got. It shouldn't even be that shot. I shouldn't say that. That weekend, that Sunday night was spectacular. Awesome time. Spent a lot of time with a lot of good people. Would do it again, all over.
My number 4 is gonna be My number 4 is going to be the now ongoing thing that I have with Nat St. Laurent in press conferences. Hashtag how we living. I think that was one of the coolest ways to enter a press conference. He initiated it when I first asked was introducing myself on the Zoom call. How we living is when we get our merch back, that will be on a shirt. That was pretty cool. And then it just sticking the entire year and being just a bit in a press conference too. I'm gonna go with how we living.
That's pretty solid.
Number 3, Deej.
Ironically, as awful as it was, it was a fantastic moment and a funny one for us. The fire alarm going off in Fairfield at 8 a.m.
Oh, in Boston, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Boston at 8 a.m.
That was one of the funniest moments that was not caught on camera.
I will
but
never.
will be mentally up here.
Oh, yeah, I'll never forget looking at you and us having the same look on the face, thinking that we were having the same dream of the fire alarm going off at 8 a.m. Because there's no way we could have been having the same dream.
It was absolutely ridiculous. Number 3. Number 3 for me is going to be another press conference moment. It's Trevor Baptiste complimenting the studio. That was just epic for him to just like be so in tune with the press conference, but then also at the same time be checking out everything going on behind me and being like, "Did you get a new setup?" Trevor complimenting Underground Studios is all time.
I'm mad I missed that.
That was electric. Number 2, Deej.
Number 2 is my one and only press conference moment. It will probably be the shining star of press conference moments for me for my entire career. I'm glad you're already typing because you already know what I'm about to say. Saving Rob Pennell in the Redwoods season, week 2 in Charlotte. Asking him what was going on with the attack and if they were going to help out the offense. And boom, things turned around.
Yeah, that was all time. Number 2 for me is going to be your number 4. Champ weekend, obviously being in the backyard. Seeing friend of the program, Andy Copeland, get that dub. Eli get that dub was very special. And to just be able to, once again, be amongst, the league, be amongst just some incredible people. Champ weekend was very special. Deej, your number 1 moment of the 2022 PLL season.
My number 1 moment is watching a certain player play defense and then leak out for an outlet pass and catch this pass and then proceed to look for someone to pass to. Everyone's covered. No one steps to him. And he unloads a rocket of a shot that stings top right. And all we could do was scream and grab each other while we melted on the sidelines in Fairfield for Eddie Glazer's first 2-point goal ever. You think I was talking about the Miles one?
I thought you were going in a bunch of different directions at first, to be honest. But I like that. That was in my honorable mentions.
That thing was
tanging.
Yeah, that might have been one of the most electric lacrosse things I've been a part of. The entire building, I could feel the energy of the entire stadium in my body when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was insane.
My number one moment should be no surprise to the real ones. Number one, for me, is the Outside the Box podcast victory lap on the We Were Always Right about Kieran motherfucking McCardle. That has been a staple of this fucking show for as long as I can remember. He has been our guy since day one of Deej coming on this pod as my co-host. And the fact that we got to go on the biggest victory lap tour all fucking season because our guy double birded everybody and said, fuck you for doubting me. I am here. And now he's a champion too. Oh, and let's not forget he's first team all pro too. The Kieran McCardle We Were Right tour will hands down be my favorite moment from this season because Deej, we were fucking right, brother. We were fucking right.
And he proved us right. Just went out there and balled. I mean, week in and week out. I mean, week one, total was there. We saw Kieran, but, Sowers had his effect. But once he took, his time off, Kieran rose to the table as he's done multiple times in his 9-year pro career. And he didn't look back. He kind of just took over the offense and kind of expect to see that moving forward. Like, Sowers will always be a big part of the offense and will always have a key role, but I don't see this not being Kieran's offense unless he's hurt or decides to leave.
100%. Just feels good to be right. Feels good to be fucking right about a guy who is just, no pun intended here, he's a fucking dog. And I couldn't have been happier to see him at the end of the season hoist that trophy and be crowned a champion, which it's just hitting me now. Kieran was nowhere to be found after everything.
What do you think? He went home.
Oh, I know.
He was teaching Monday.
Nah, you don't think he took off Monday either way? I think he's smart enough to have taken Monday off.
He's a real teacher. He wanted to celebrate with his kids. He took the trophy. He took the trophy to school.
That needs to happen. They need to let him do that.
He said, "Cope, I'll send it to you in the mail."
I'll send a Brinks truck back. Don't you worry. Let's do 3 honorable mentions too, because this season was loaded with moments. I think my number 3 honorable mention will be, and not that this is a slight at all, because he's a fucking homie now. Meeting Josiah, like, hello, what? He's like the king of NBA Twitter, the superstar personality, and now he's just a homie. Like, that's just crazy to concept. Like, he's one of those guys that when you're on Twitter, you see him pop up all the time, and you never think you're going to interact with on Twitter, let alone in person. And the fact that we got to kick it at Fairfield with him, and then championship weekend as well, got to kick it and just talk about, like, life progression of this show and all of our shows, like, super fucking cool. He's a homie for life. He will be on this podcast, by the way, at some point. So meeting Josiah goes into my honorable mentions for sure.
My number 3 honorable mention is, most people are probably going to call me crazy and would have it in their top 5. But it's an honorable mention for me because I don't, look for praise or recognition or flowers. It's always appreciative when I get it, but I do this because I want to. I enjoy it, and I'm going to do it because I want to do it. But having, MR shout us out and give us, the flowers and tell others to do so was awesome. Like it kind of opened my eyes to, the life I'm living now, and realizing that people see the work I'm putting in, and it's not falling on deaf ears, and it's the fun that I'm having isn't just fun for me, but it's fun for others as well.
100%. This next one, it just hit me too, and I'm probably going to throw one of these in the middle of this episode because we've been sitting on them for a while. Getting the invite and being able to go to Shoot Out for Soldiers was fucking awesome. What an atmosphere. Just being able to do those interviews that Eric Minio set up with us was so fucking like special, like for lack of a better word. To be able to learn about some of these stories from these veterans and everything was super eye-opening and fascinating. We will definitely be throwing one of those, if not two of, or, a bunch of those interviews in over the next couple of weeks. One of them will be on this episode, but getting to be a part of that, and then Minio giving me, one of the coins, was super special, because Eric's been so supportive of this podcast, so supportive of us as people. He's just a super special guy, and to be able to get that opportunity to go out there and kick it for an unreal event was super special. So Shoot Out for Soldiers Philly gets an honorable mention here as well.
And shout out to Chuck. Now we both have one. I got a Shoot Out for Soldiers medal as well. Wow, number 2. Number 2 would have to be, I guess, the only other. Wow, I'm going back on my word. It's going to be another press conference moment, but it's just press conferences in the playoffs and being in person.
Yes.
First time being able to do that and having that experience was just awesome. And, interacting with players that close to coast and being able to put a face to my name and get that interaction going was awesome.
100%. And I hope that's like the shindig moving forward. My last honorable mention. Trying to think. Trying to think of any like big game moment that's not like cliche. Oh, you know what? This will be kind of, being sideline at Gillette was pretty fucking cool. It's not very often you get to be on the sidelines and field level at an NFL stadium. So being down there and taking all of that in for what it was and like just soaking in that moment really was really freaking cool. And Gillette's a dope place. Just sucks that it's in Boston, and Boston always brings us nightmares one way or another. But yeah, Gillette was the Boston redemption tour, if you will, for the boys.
Yes, it went much better than it did the first time we went there. But Boston is the most up and down city for us. It's given us so many good things, but so many bad things at the same time. Wow. Number 1 is about as cliche as it's going to get for me, because I can't go a full PLL season without shouting out my boy MJ15. That sequence at the end of that game in Fairfield was Miles Jones at his finest. Like, shooting 1 foot, fading away from 18 out with pressure, stinging top right, even though Rexroad was the only one there. It's just different. And being there and knowing that was the game winner and seeing, K18 and Paul react to it right in front of me. We're grabbing all over each other. People are going crazy. Just the energy of a tight lacrosse game will always be one of the best feelings on earth.
Also, honorable mention. Shout out to Ben Rubio and our substitution banter every press conference. And obviously, all-time moment was having the boy fly into South Philly all the fucking time, baby. I mean, we did that shit, bro.
Yeah, dude. It was awesome.
We did
It was
that
awesome.
shit.
I mean, honorable mention. Getting pushed back on my first flight because we were late to the airport. So I got my suitcase. That was
Airport
fine.
Chronicles.
Second flight or late. Had to leave my suitcase in Philly with you.
Which was, I
And-
still don't understand how we were late.
Dude, I don't know.
We left at a perfect time,
No.
and then I think that rain that happened accelerated time. I'm fully convinced.
It had to have, because we were on such good time. There wasn't really traffic. I don't know. That was stupid, but had to leave my suitcase there. Running through the airport, I lost my hat, my Redwoods rope hat as well. Oh, rest in peace. So that was tough, but that did work out, because then for all the playoffs, I didn't have to pay baggage fees. My bag was there in Jersey, ready for me, and we did the thing back and forth 3 weeks in a row, only paying bags one time. It was awesome. Can't wait to do it again.
What a season.
Maybe soon.
Maybe soon. What a season, though, it was. Shout out to the boy Colin Squires. Top 5, brought to you by Pickup. But yeah, that is this week's episode. Like we said, it's a slow week. It's going to be kind of slow. We're working on some guest bookings for the peeps. We're working on figuring out when these Tops cards are going to drop to give you guys another Tops live stream. But that's why you got to follow us on the socials at OTBLaxPod, Twitter, Instagram. Follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com. Subscribe to the podcast feed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We are there. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. It really goes a long way with helping more people find the show. Gets us on the charts. It helps us continue to grow as a podcast and as a network. And of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Full video episodes of OTB every single Friday, and all Underground Sports Philadelphia podcasts in full video form. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below which of the 4 mascots you want to see the Warriors pick. Give us your top 5 PLL moments of 2022, and anything else that comes to mind. Leave it in the comment section below. Big shout out to the sponsors, Tomahawk Shades, Kenwood Beer, Pickup, and Bino Board. All of their info is linked in the show notes on audio and in the description on YouTube. Also, shout out to whichever Shootout for Soldiers interview that I popped in here for you guys. Shout out to those guests who hopped on with me back over the summer. Shout out to Eric Minio and Alexis Brandolini, the GOATs. But this has been episode number 241 of the allegedly award-nominated number 9 ranked ? Shrek, let us know. And of course, viewable on YouTube. Outside the Box podcast, the official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. For Deej, I'm KB. And until next week, baby, we are getting the heck out of here. Peace.